Hey everyone, ready to dive into the world of crypto? I know it can feel like you need to speak a whole new language sometimes just to get started,
Yeah, it can be a lot, all the jargon.
right? That's why I'm so excited for this deep dive. We're checking out IQ.wiki. They're on a mission to make crypto clear and accessible, kind of like, um,
A Wikipedia for blockchain.
exactly,
Mm.
except way more engaging.
What I like about them is they don't just give you the what, they really get into the why.
And they make it practical too. Like I was on their Twitter the other day, and they did this breakdown of the double spending problem.
Ah, that's a big one.
Right, and they explained it so clearly.
It's crucial to understand that, especially with digital currencies. I mean, think about it. If you have a digital file, you can copy it a million times.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. So how do you stop someone from doing that with a digital dollar, buying a million pizzas with the same buck?
It'd be like counterfeiting 2.0. Instead of a printing press, you just need curl plus C, curl plus V.
Exactly. And that's the genius of the blockchain. It's this digital ledger that tracks every transaction,
Yeah.
making it impossible to spend the same coin twice.
So like a global receipt book everyone can see.
Perfect analogy. Creates trust, transparency, which have always been big hurdles in, well, pretty much every financial system we've ever had.
And IQ.wiki is out here making sure everyone understands this stuff.
Yeah.
But hold on, it's not just about the tech. Remember all that mystery around who created Bitcoin?
Oh, Satoshi Nakamoto, classic.
Right. So IQ.wiki has these posts about this guy, Peter Todd, big name in Bitcoin. And get this, HBO is now saying he is Satoshi Nakamoto.
Wow, that's quite a claim.
Right. Can you imagine?
Well, Peter Todd has been involved with Bitcoin since the very beginning. Brilliant cryptographer.
Really knows his stuff.
And one of the few people who actually corresponded with Satoshi before, they vanished.
It's like a movie plot or something.
Yeah.
This anonymous genius who disappears. Do you buy it? Is Peter Todd really Satoshi?
It's definitely intriguing, that connection, having direct contact with Satoshi. But honestly, even without that, Peter Todd is a legend in the crypto world.
So we got a potential Satoshi Nakamoto on our hands.
Yeah.
And IQ.wiki is right there in the thick of it.
What I appreciate about them is they lay out all sides. They don't shy away from the speculation, but they still stick to the facts.
They're like that friend who loves a good conspiracy theory. Yeah.
Exactly. But they can still separate fact from fiction, which is so important, especially if you're new to all this.
Totally. It's like they're giving you a map to navigate this whole crypto world.
With all the ups and downs, for sure.
So besides this whole Satoshi mystery and explaining stuff like the double spending problem, what else is IQ.wiki up to? They've been busy, right?
Oh, yeah, they're doing a lot more than just explain the basics these days.
Oh, like what? Give us the inside scoop. Well, for one thing, remember their September ecosystem report?
Oh, yeah.
They're turning it into a podcast. Pretty cool, right?
Definitely. I feel like more and more people are listening to podcasts these days, and it's like way easier to learn about complex stuff when you're on the go,
Totally. Like I can listen while I'm walking my dog or whatever. Much easier than sitting down with a textbook.
Exactly.
But wait, there's more.
Blasting sounds like an infomercial.
Right. But seriously, they've got this AI tool now, too. IQ GPT.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. It's like a personal assistant, but for crypto research, right?
Yeah, exactly. And over 2 million people are using it already. Apparently, it integrates with, like, a ton of different platforms, too.
Which makes sense. I mean, it can be so overwhelming trying to stay up to date on all the latest developments in the crypto space.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right. So having a tool like that can kind of cut through the noise and give you the information you need.
Yeah, that's the dream.
And it really fits with their whole mission of making this stuff more accessible to everyone, not just, the hardcore tech people.
Definitely democratizing knowledge and all that. Which actually reminds me of another thing I wanted to bring up. IQ.wiki's partnerships. They've been teaming up with all sorts of cool projects lately. Aurora AI, DCF, Taushi.
It's interesting to see how they're, really inserting themselves into the heart of the crypto ecosystem, Not just a standalone thing.
Totally like they're building bridges or something.
Yeah, and I think that's super important because for crypto to really go mainstream, it needs to be more than just, a niche interest.
For sure. It needs to be something that everyone feels like they can understand and get involved with if they want to, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got podcasts, AI tools, partnerships. IQ.wiki's not messing around. But it's not just about the technology itself, is it?
Definitely not.
But also really focused on fostering, like, a community, a dialogue.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, remember that poll they did on X?
Oh, right, about how people do their crypto research.
Yeah, AI versus more traditional methods.
What do you think, by the way? Are we headed towards a future where everyone just relies on AI for everything.
That's the big question, right? I mean, on the one hand, it's obviously super convenient, but there's something to be said for, like, critical thinking, you know?
Totally, like being able to evaluate information for yourself, not just taking someone else's word for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like IQ.wiki gets that. They're providing the tools, but they're also encouraging people to think critically about the information they're consuming.
It's like they're giving you a fishing rod, not just handing you a fish.
Love that analogy.
Right. They're empowering you to make your own decisions.
Which is super important in the world of crypto, especially with all the, scams and misinformation out there.
Oh, for sure. You got to be careful. But that's why I think what IQ.wiki is doing is so valuable.
Agreed. It's like they're a beacon of light in the sometimes murky depths of the internet.
Laughing. That's one way to put it.
But seriously, we need more resources like this, especially as we move further into this, digital first world.
Couldn't agree more.
And that's what I think makes them stand out. They could just throw a bunch of facts and figures at us, but they're really trying to get people thinking for themselves.
Yeah, like informed citizens of the cryptoverse or whatever you want to call it.
Right. And it's not just about crypto either. Like we were saying before, this blockchain thing has the potential to change, well, everything.
Oh, absolutely. We could be talking about totally different systems for like supply chains, voting, even how we prove who we are online.
It's almost hard to wrap your head around all the possibilities. Speaking of which, that reminds me of that whole double spending thing we were discussing earlier.
With digital currencies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, how do you make digital information scarce?
Right. Because usually you just like copy and paste it a million times.
Exactly. But Satoshi, or whoever it was, they figured it out.
The blockchain is brilliant when you really get into it. Creates this single, unchangeable record of every transaction.
So everyone's on the same page, no more disputes or anything.
Exactly. Which is huge. I mean, so much of what we do relies on trust, right?
Big time. Think about banks, contracts, online shopping. It all comes down to trusting that the other party is legit.
And for centuries, we've relied on these like third parties to guarantee that trust. But now with blockchain,
We might not need them so much anymore.
potentially, which is why I think understanding this tech is so crucial. It's not just about, investing in the latest coin or whatever. It's about understanding the fundamental shift that's happening.
A paradigm shift, as they say.
Exactly. And IQ.wiki is doing a great job of like breaking it down for everyone. They're not just explaining the how, they're really getting into the why.
Yeah, and the what if, which is super important.
Yeah.
Because with any new technology, there's always the potential for, unintended consequences.
That for sure. We got to be aware of that. And that's where having these open conversations like the ones IQ.wiki is encouraging is so important.
Totally. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the big question for everyone listening is, how do we make sure this technology is used for good? How do we make sure it benefits everyone, not just a select few?
Such a crucial question. And it's one that we all need to be thinking about, talking about, debating, because the future is being written right now. And the more informed we are, the better choices we can make.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
So to everyone listening, if you want to be a part of shaping that future, if you want to really understand the ins and outs of blockchain and crypto, do yourself a favor and check out IQ.wiki. Your brain will thank you. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking the big questions.